Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Property Pros. This is a new podcast right here from yours truly, Professor Gatsby. As you know, I'm a real estate broker down here in South Florida. I also teach property management. I also teach the real estate course, sales, and the pre-license course. Today, I have a guest. I have Miss the lovely Lauren McGill in the building. Hey, how are you?
Hi, Neri. How are you?
Good, 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 good. So today I wanted to bring you on to the show today to discuss a little bit about mortgages. I know that you are the specialist when it comes to mortgages, and I definitely
Yeah,
want you to bring some of that knowledge to my viewers. So can you help me out a little bit about that and just introduce yourself and tell them what you do?
of course. My name is Lauren McGill. I'm a
Okay.
loan officer in Financial Network. We're a bank. We're a direct lender,
Hmm.
and I for about 13 years.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're real knowledgeable and credible when it comes to that.
Yes.
That means I can ask you about just basically about anything. It could be about, I know in the real estate business where I teach that there's three types of mortgages. You have FHA, you have VA, and then you have conventional. We're not going to really discuss too much about the VA because that's for the veterans, of course. But for the everyday consumer, the everyday customer, the everyday person, the American, typically they're looking to purchase their home either conventional or FHA. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So with a conventional loan, a buyer can come to the table with putting as little as 3% down or as much
Mm,
as 20%. The conventional loan does have private mortgage insurance. If the buyer
mm.
down, the private mortgage insurance disappears. So they don't
Oh,
have to, and they're not governed by the government. And the DTI, debt to income ratios that are allowed for a
mhm.
conventional loan are 50%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So basically, if you were a first-time home buyer and you're looking to purchase a single-family home, out of the two t loan types, which is more beneficial to a first-time home buyer
I would
that's not so
highly,
rich?
yes, I would recommend an FHA loan where
Mm,
the buyer comes and puts down 3.5%. You're allowed higher debt to income ratios, so the
mm.
restrictions are much easier going for an FHA loan as compared to a conventional loan. Conventional guidelines are much tougher than FHA guidelines. So
So if we're going for a conventional, would that be more so better for like a second home or investment property, or will FHA
second
cover that too?
Um, FHA does not do investment properties. FHA will do a fourplex. They'll do a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex.
Okay,
But living in 1 to 4 units. A
okay.
conventional loan will allow financing of an investment property as long as you put a minimum of 15% down.
Oh wow, so that's extra hefty. I mean,
Yes,
with the FHA, that's 3.5%, and with a conventional, if you're looking for investment purposes, that's an additional 15% you have to come out of pocket, which is it could be kind of hefty. I mean, just depend on. Let's just think about your loan type. Let's say if the loan amount is $300,000 out of 15%. Oof, that is about $45,000
yeah,
just as a down payment. That's pretty hefty alone.
yes, it is.
So
So
3.5% would be a whole lot better because
easily,
if we're going with the conventional route and and it's not our first home, um, I mean, 50% of the 300,000 is about 45 grand or somewhere around there. I mean,
yeah,
that's just pretty hefty. And then 3.5% of that would be what, roughly, I don't know, 7, 9, 9, 5, about 10 grand. That's a big difference. And the closing on this as well too. We have to account for the closing portion of the transaction as well too, which can be another 2 to 4% maybe, depending on the
yeah.
city, county that you're in. I mean, that's a couple $1,000. How important is it for buyers to actually consider closing?
Well, you have to consider closing cost. The great thing is that we're offering down payment assistance. It's
Mm,
called a program AFN Boost, and that will give you a loan for 3.5% of the purchase price. So with FHA, you only need to put 3.5% down. Now, the first-time home buyer loan program doesn't actually have to be for first-time home buyers. You can have owned a home and still qualify for the program, but it gives you a loan for your 3.5% down payment, and all you need to do is focus on your closing costs. So it saves the
wow.
do down payment assistance.
So you're telling me if, let's say, if I had a family member, or if I had, let's say, if I had, let's say my dad wanted to go ahead and purchase another house, would he be able to do so with this program that you're mentioning?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Even though he
He
purchased, what if he purchased a house in the past 3 years? Would he still be
long as it
would he
was
still be
an
qualified?
as long as it wasn't an FHA loan. If he
Mm,
purchased it with a loan, he'd have to buy another home 100 miles away from where he currently owns. And he
mm,
would have to property that he owns into an investment property. But if
okay.
he bought a conventional loan, then he can apply for the first time home buyer program and put just 3.5% down and get a loan for that 3.5% down.
And this would work for multifamily, as from 1 unit all
Yeah,
the way up to 4 units as well too.
yeah, it would. Absolutely.
And throughout any city and county throughout the state of Florida.
Any state throughout the state of Florida. Yes. Any city or county in the state of
Wow.
Florida. Yes.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, like the purchase prices down here in South Florida is really high. So I'm guessing if you go to Central Florida, it may be a little less expensive, but it can, it all depends on the purchase price.
Yes.
But still, that's still an amazing incentive for the public. I mean, I think this information is really useful for them to know. I mean, you're saving a traditional home buyer thousands of
Yeah.
dollars, thousands of dollars that they may not have. I mean, this is not easy in this generation to go ahead and save money to purchase a home, especially in a bigger, major metropolitan city like South Florida. It's just not something that's it's really difficult. It's not as easy. I mean, I know when my mother was purchasing homes, she she bought the first family house for $120,000 back in like 1990,
Wow.
right here in South Florida. Now, I mean, a regular home, and I consider a regular home in areas like the North Gate side, the North Miami Beach. I'm sure it gets a little pricier, but in those areas, the North and Dade section, Miami Shores, just the north part of the city, and I consider homes on average over there. I mean, you're looking at 450 just for a regular 3-2.
Easily.
You know,
Yes. 100%.
just a normal 3-2. That's pretty beneficial to the public for them to
Yes.
actually be able to purchase with 3.5% down. And for example, what is the criteria? What do all they need in order to qualify? Because I know they have to come to you to get qualified.
Yes. So for down payment assistance, the documents that a buyer would have to bring would be the last 2 years of W-2s,
Okay.
tax returns. If self-employed, I would need the last 2 years of tax returns. Only if they're self-employed, I would get a copy of the personal and business tax returns, last
Hmm.
two pay stubs, a copy of their driver's license, and
Hmm.
last two bank statements, and one recent 401k quarterly statement if they have a 401k.
Oh, now I like that you brought up the 401k thing.
Yeah.
Now I want to mention, and I want to give this I want to give this little gem to the viewers. Listen, guys, there's an incentive, there's a program that I teach to my students. Basically, you can go ahead and withdraw from your 401k plan, and withdraw from your 401k plan if you are a first-time home buyer. You can go ahead and withdraw up to $10,000 without that hefty tax penalty. Now, if you are married, you can go ahead and stack that withdrawal with your spouse. Then your employer, if they're a good employer, I'm not saying all, but majority of the time they are good employers. They want to keep you if they get your 401k plan. They should actually match that withdrawal purchase, that withdrawal limit amount, and you should be able to use those funds and go ahead and use it to purchase or to close on a property. But that's something I teach. I just hope that actually, I would love for, you all to use that for your transaction, and, let me know if that actually worked out for you. Is that something you ever heard of before?
Yes, I actually have. And I just recommend that the buyer contacts their HR professionals and get the
Hmm.
rules and regulations about, and, mention, have the buyer, make the HR professional aware that they've heard that the employer does match a 401k withdrawal. Just
Okay.
to remind, yeah.
because yeah, they would definitely need to, because if you're going with somebody that's unknowledgeable, they may not even be aware. I mean, you could work with a company, they have no knowledge that basically you could withdraw money and then you guys are supposed to double it up. But I want to just bring that to your attention, guys. So just make sure, yes, you do listen what Lauren's saying. Make sure that your person, the HR personnel, knows what's going on there, because you don't
Yes,
also don't want to be leaving money on the table and spending funds you don't need to spend in either way, you know. But I think this would help you out if you are somebody that cherishes your dollars and you want to make sure you make the right investment. I mean, if you're already going to make that investment initially to withdraw from it, this is a good route to go. I
of
think
course.
stacking that on top with your program, I think that really helps the public and it makes it more affordable and feasible and attainable for the major purchase.
You're
You know,
right. Mm-hmm.
it's a win-win. That's the American dream. I mean, what I realized down here in South Florida, that it's really tough for individuals to purchase homes just because of the housing market. Not saying that the homes aren't available. It's just it costs so much to actually acquire one of these properties. So bringing a program like this would just make Americans, or just home buyers in general, not just Americans, because Florida is full of people that aren't always naturally from America, but they're home buyers, and it could be their first time, and it could just help out a lot of people in general, and it could just shift the way our economy is set at the moment.
And I just
I think
want to
that's really amazing.
Yes, and I just want to add that you only need a 580 FICO score if you're going to apply for an FHA loan or down payment
Wow,
assistance loan. Yeah,
wow. There's no way you can't make this happen now. I mean,
right.
580 credit score. I mean, they're basically just saying, "Hey, we're here. We're trying to get your home," and it's up to you
Yeah,
now to go ahead and take the initiative to go ahead and acquire this asset. I mean, it's an asset at the end of the day. There's so many things you could do with your home once you get a home. It's an asset. That means you can leverage it. Don't think of you. It's hard to leverage an asset that's not yours. So basically, renting is a no-no. You have to change the renting at some point in time, guys. So if you're renting, there's a limit to the rent limit. You should only rent a home for up to 2 years. That's the limit. That's the way it's always been. Moving past that, you're just wasting money. You need to go ahead and save your money, put your funds together, and purchase this home. With so much home buyer assistance programs that are out there currently, and with this amazing program that you have right here, I mean, I don't see why. It's only you have to take the leap of faith at some point in time, people. Got to just go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and get this home for you. I mean, it's here. We have an opportunity. We don't know how long this is going to last. Maybe it does last forever. Maybe it doesn't. But we need to go ahead and take the right steps to go ahead and start purchasing some homes. And I think this is a very important program. I think this is really beneficial to the public and to some of the viewers that I have here on my show.
I
So
agree.
I love it. I love it. So basically, we can get this loan. It can buy from one to, I think, from it could be up to single family to up to a quadplex.
Yes,
Um, and I'm guessing roughly for quadplex here in South Florida, up to like about $900,000, roughly
right around.
around that. Okay? The credit
Yes,
criteria only needs to be about a 580. I mean,
yes.
now with a 580, I mean, there's no excuse. I know some folks were worried about, man, I got a 620, I got a 630, 580. Now we can make this work. There's no excuses at this point. You can make that work. You can do bad and get a 580. You'll be okay. So you can make this work if you really want to make it work. I think you can get to us, and I think you should get it. I think the public should start taking the initiative to purchase these homes. Especially I mean, they're not going to be here forever, but you know, you do want to try to get it sooner than later. You make your money when you buy and not when you sell in real estate. So if you purchase it, just a hint, you purchase it with a little money in your pocket. I mean, it's better for you. You have more leverage. You have more opportunities to leverage your asset. There's so many ways. I mean, you also can marry your house, and date the rate. That's something I was told back in the day. Get the house. You get the house and you date the rate. You may have a low credit score. I'm not advising you to always apply with a low credit score, but what I am saying, there's work that can be taken in order to improve that. So let's say you do purchase a house and you may have a higher interest rate. I do recommend, I would say, you could correct me if I'm wrong. I would always tell the buyers, hey, if you do have a low credit score right now, what you do is you purchase a home, get the asset, and you wait over a year. You wait some time. You work on your credit, start improving your finances, start improving your credit profile, and then possibly they can refi. I don't know, in 12
Yeah,
months after they improve their credit score from a 580 to, let's say, they get to like a 680, would they be able to
you could.
refi at that point?
Yeah, 6 months you could wait and then refinance. Absolutely.
So, there you go. I think that's an option right there. So I just don't like. I want to get my viewers to not be so scared to purchase, because I think this is the time that they need to go ahead and purchase this home. And with an amazing program like what you bring is the AFN rollout program, of first time home buyer
Yep.
program, correct? That's,
Yes, AFN Boost. That's the name of the program.
guys, you gotta take it. I mean, how long would it take for a loan like this to actually close? Like,
So
how long would it take for me to get pre-approved from you, and how long would it take for me after I find my agent to close on the property?
so it takes about 2 hours to get pre-approved, and you'll get a letter
Two
from me and a
hours?
writing file from me. Yes, just 2 hours. And my letters are good for 90 days. It shouldn't take you 90 days, but just in case it does, my letters are good for 90 days, and I can always re-extend the pre-approval.
Wow.
And process is very fast, and you close in
Wow.
35 days if you get down payment assistance. If you're getting a
Wow.
regular FHA loan, I can close you in 30 days.
Wow. So wait. You blew me away with just basically with this. You can get a pre-approval letter in 2 hours. I mean, you blew me
Yeah,
away with that alone. I've never seen that
thank you.
before. I mean, the last lender, it took them a whole week to get me a pre-approval letter for a client that was highly qualified.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It shouldn't take you
No,
1 week. I mean, with this type of efficiency and speed, I mean, no wonder you're killing it, Lauren. I can see why. This is just amazing. This is
thank
just
you.
amazing. Now, and then you also mentioned that it would take up to 35 days if we are getting the homeowners assistance, home buyers assistance. But if we're going with a traditional FHA, it could take up to 30 days to close on a loan with you.
Correct.
Okay, so
Yes.
guys, we want to put in perspective. This is not Lauren talking. This is me, because sometimes in real estate things can go wrong. So you want to be prepared. I would roughly give it about 45 days after we sign the contract. On the fasten, you know that it could be 30 days if you're going traditional, 35 if you're not going traditional. But let's say 45 days for any type of contingencies or any type of anything that could happen. Let's just give it 45 days on the safe end to close on it. So, and no more, definitely more than 60 days. But that's just being absolutely, you know, dragging it. So, like you said, it takes you about 30 days to get it, and that is amazing. Yeah, you guys, that's what we have to do. So, if you want to go ahead and get a loan, you could go ahead and see Lauren. Lauren, how do they find you?
Yes, I could be called to my cell phone at any time. My number is 561-313-9678, or you can email me at lmcgill@afncorp.com. That reads lmcgill@afncorp.com.
Oh, well, there you have it. So there's the contact information for Miss Lauren McGill. If you want to find out about this amazing program where you can go ahead and purchase this home, and you want to find out more ways and creative techniques on how to purchase homes or even other assets, even investment properties, be sure to reach out to me, and I'll make sure I connect you with one of my highly qualified lenders that can go ahead and assist you and get you the financing you need to go ahead and close on this acquisition. So there you have it, guys. Thank you, Lauren, for being here with me. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
All right.